The New York Yankees cannot pass up on this opportunity, as this team has a huge problem with their offensive production, and Brian Cashman needs to shake up this infield as soon as today to get this team back in contention for a World Series. And luckily enough, there are two studs in the Bay Area that fit what the Yankees need here in 2026, and we'll break all of that down and more on another episode here on Yankees Digest. Welcome on in, everyone, to Yankees Digest. My name is Alex Brooks. Hope you guys are having a great day so far as we discuss how this Yankees team can get out of their own way and get some more guys in here that can help them contend. Because right now, what we're seeing with how this Yankees offense is looking, especially during this 5-game skid, it has been terrible. There hasn't been any sort of ounce of hope within the Yankees organization, and it feels like everything is really off right now. And I feel like Brian Cashman is he needs to look in the mirror and kind of see at this team at face value and just say, hey, we need to start shaking this up if we want to get to the World Series here in this 2026 season. And we'll break all of that down in just a little bit. But before we do, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 sports picks app, and it's the best way to get in on all the action when it comes to live sports. We'll dive deep into some of my picks, as well as some awesome promotions a little later in this video. But make sure you guys download the PrizePicks app and use that code DIGEST when signing up today, as it really helps out the channel a ton here on Yankees Digest to bring you guys all the content you need revolving the New York Yankees. But, getting into the news today, as we discuss a couple players that could really help this Yankees team. And the first player that I really want to go over is second baseman Luis Arraez. Luis Arraez has been someone on the Yankees radar, I feel like, for years now. He is the perfect perfect guy that you could put at the leadoff spot, the perfect element that you could bring into this lineup that could just be your sure leadoff hitter, someone who is going to get on base. Yes, may not be stealing bases, but he's someone who can set the table for your big playmakers. And especially when Aaron Judge, Trent Grisham, and Giancarlo Stanton come back from the IL, you're going to need someone who is going to have a consistent bat at the top of the lineup. I mention it multiple times. It sounds like a broken record here on Yankees Digest if you guys have been loyal subscribers, talking about how Luis Arraez and any sort of leadoff hitter is just important on how the Yankees are going to separate themselves and try to get back to the World Series. And when we look at Luis Arraez and what he really has brought to this New York Yankees, what he can bring to this New York Yankees team, I mean, you look at his stats from this year: 326 batting average, 3 home runs, 31 RBIs, 6 stolen bases. He's not going to bring you a lot when it comes to power, but that is not what the New York Yankees need at this point. They don't need a guy who is going to hit 25, 30 home runs. They already have that in multiple players on this team, including Aaron Judge, including Cody Bellinger and Ben Rice. So if you're able to get someone who could just get on base and you don't need to worry about, him like striking out a lot, I think it's a perfect complement to this lineup that really needs some sort of identity and help out this Yankees offense to get back on track. And you see the versatility what he brings. He brings second base, third base, and first base as well. So you can throw him in multiple different positions within the infield, and he can be very successful. And he's been someone who has done really well defensively, as this was from Joseph Randazzo at Sports Illustrated, talking about how Luis Arraez would be a really great fit, and saying when you're hitting in front of Aaron Judge and Ben Rice, the leadoff hitter should be able to take as many pitches as possible, grinding down the starter and having the two of them get as many looks as possible from the batter's box. This is why, as far as lineup construction goes, 1 through 5 in the order is adequate, and Arraez can hit anywhere after that, giving them a lethal dose of offensive depth they probably haven't had since the 2019 season. Outside of that, Arraez hit tool is phenomenal. This is why the takes against him have always been in bad faith. Who wouldn't want a player hitting 321, 354, 455? And I definitely agree with that sentiment, because when you are looking at someone like Luis Arraez, he can just be that plug and play guy. You can have him at the leadoff spot, but you could also throw him in at number 5, number 6, or even at the bottom of the lineup if you feel comfortable in doing that. And I think it could just bring Aaron Boone to have someone you could put in as the leadoff hitter and have him succeed. And I was talking about another guy that is his teammate currently in San Francisco, and that is none other than third baseman Matt Chapman. Because when we look at how this New York Yankees team is constructed right now, their infield hasn't brought a lot of offensive production. I mentioned with Luis Arraez, he could be a really good fit at second base. Matt Chapman could be really good at third base. And the reason why I want to, talk about that is because of Jazz Chisholm and Ryan McMahon. Both of these guys are struggling right now. You got Jazz Chisholm batting 222, 12 home runs, 33 RBIs. And then Ryan McMahon, yes, he's on the IL, but he wasn't doing much before that. 210 batting average, 8 home runs, 23 RBIs. If you're going to be a contending team, someone who is going to be the best of the best in a very weak American League, you are going to need guys who are going to hit for average. And yes, Ryan McMahon is someone who is more better defensively than a Matt Chapman, but at the end of the day, you are going to need to prioritize having a really deep lineup because that is going to get you far trying to make a push for another World Series. And Jazz Chisholm, he hasn't been doing really well as of late. He's been getting ejected. He hasn't been able to really stay, in a game for a little while. So he's just someone who just seems really out of tune right now, and his batting average doesn't really help, and that's very unfortunate. But when you get a veteran like Matt Chapman, you look at his numbers, and the numbers aren't great when it comes to batting average, but you still have, you're looking at his WAR, 2.8 WAR. That is pretty respectable for a veteran third baseman. He's a righty as well in a very lefty heavy lineup, and he has the resume that you can really trust. He's an all-star, 5-time Gold Glove winner, 2-time Platinum Glove winner as well. So you could just pretty much plug and play when it comes to his defense, and you're looking at how he can really fit as the new Yankees third baseman. And I feel like it would just be a seamless fit. And having him, Luis Arraez, who is doing much better with defense, I think it's just a perfect scenario that the Yankees could have with both of these guys in here. And I know that, when you're looking at Matt Chapman, his contract isn't the best. He's dealing with a contract that, is very hefty right now, and why San Francisco wants to get rid of him because they want to offload or unload that contract onto someone else. And a particular trade that I think could work for both teams is what I saw on Sports Illustrated talking about how Matt Chapman and Luis Arraez could be in this trade, as the Yankees would receive both Chapman and Luis Arraez, and the Giants would receive Elmer Rodriguez and Eric Rezelman. And they said how a shipment like Arraez and Chapman, the Giants could unload some contract weight while getting a top prospect in return, while the Yankees have two vets that are having strong seasons to help them with their World Series push. Because at the end of the day, the Yankees are going to need those veterans who have experience playing in big games, and also guys who are just going to be very complimentary around the lineup. Because when you look at a projected lineup with both Luis Arraez and Matt Chapman, you can be very encouraged by how this Yankees team would be able to develop. You got Luis Arraez leading off. I think that's a perfect fit, plug and play, because I like Paul Goldschmidt, don't get me wrong, but the consistency at leadoff, I think Luis Arraez can fit in that spot perfectly. Then you got Cody Bellinger, Aaron Judge when he's back healthy. Then you could throw in Goldschmidt and Ben Rice at that first base spot. You got Giancarlo Stanton at fifth, Trent Grisham, Matt Chapman, Austin Wells, Anthony Volpe, and Jose Caballero at the 9-hole spot. And why I think this could be a very deep championship type of lineup, because when Aaron Judge comes back, he's going to be hitting a ton. You already got Ben Rice, who has been kind of up and down as of recent, but he is definitely going to figure it out when it comes to later in the season. But you look at that lineup, you look how deep it can be, because you have Luis Arraez, Cody Bellinger, Aaron Judge, but then you got to deal with Goldschmidt or Ben Rice. You still have to deal with Stanton, Trent Grisham, and then you have Matt Chapman, and then you could throw Wells, Volpe, or Caballero at the bottom of the lineup and feel very encouraged that you know that you have a 7 deep lineup that you can trust in every single day of the week. So this lineup is something where I think Brian Cashman is trying to, look at how this Yankees team is going to move forward in the 2026 season. But if the Yankees are really serious about a championship push, it definitely is going to include some guys to fit in for a Ryan McMahon and Jazz Chisholm replacement. When you have Luis Arraez, Matt Chapman, both of those guys are A1 replacements and can really help you make that championship push. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about a Luis Arraez and Matt Chapman trade. Do you feel encouraged that the Yankees could make this type of deal? And do you think the Yankees would have to give up a big prospect in order to get that? Let me know down in the comments as we discuss Yankees content every single day of the week. And remember, guys, that you guys should be subscribed to Yankees Digest, as we see that 66% of you guys are currently not subscribed, as we are trying to get to 12,000 subscribers here on Yankees Digest. So make sure you guys are subscribed, because at the end of the day, it is free, and we appreciate free things in this world. And make sure you guys hit the bell so you don't miss out on anything when it comes to the New York Yankees. But before we wrap up this video, let's get into some of my picks presented by our sponsor, PrizePicks. Remember, guys, to use that code DIGEST when you download the PrizePicks app today, as when you play your first $5, you get $50 instantly in lineups. And getting into some of my picks, we're going to go over to the New York Yankees versus the Detroit Tigers matchup. Yankees are trying to get out of their 5-game skid, and it is going to be a big pitching matchup today. It's going to be Cam Schlittler versus Tarek Skubal, both guys who are looking to go and, one of the best in the game. A very good pitching matchup here on this Tuesday night. I'm going to take more on both of their strikeouts. I'm going to take more on Tarek Skubal's 5.5 because of Taco Tuesday. I'm going to take more on his strikeouts, and then Cam Schlittler definitely going to take more on his 7.5 strikeouts, trying to rebound from his performance against the Boston Red Sox. And then speaking of the Boston Red Sox, Connolly Early, I'm going to take more on his strikeouts against a Washington Nationals team that really isn't competing right now. It's going to take Early to have more than 5.5 strikeouts. And you guys can take advantage of these picks, and as well as some awesome promotions, including today, because it is Taco Tuesdays. The tacos are going nowhere. Our board is serving up discounted projections on Tuesday all day long. And then when it comes to Friday, you guys already know what it is. It is Flex Friday. Flex Friday is back in full swing. Boost your end of the week by using your Flex Friday payout boost to get a 40% higher payout every single Friday. So take advantage of these awesome promotions when you download that PrizePicks app, and reminder to use that code DIGEST when signing up today. We really appreciate PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. And guys, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about a Luis Arraez and Matt Chapman trade. It's going to be exciting things when moving forward into the month of July. We're going to talk about all things New York Yankees, especially with the trade deadline. And so make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss out on any news that comes our way here on the New York Yankees. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the game today. Enjoy this great pitching matchup. And as always, let's go Yankees, and let's get a win.